This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have our friend Jana Bantz joining us. Yes, residential realtor, associate broker, and excited that she's here to talk more about South Carolina, the suburb, the historic Charleston, historic Somerville, of course, her main area of work. And of course, she's attracting so many people, young and middle age and older age, to live in this most beautiful place. Once again, thank you so much for being here today and for joining us. Jana Bantz Real Estate. We have Jana here live today. How's everything?
Good morning. It's a beautiful day in South Carolina.
Yay, of course it is. Tell me the temperature, give me the stats.
It's going to be about 78 today. It was about 52 overnight. Beautiful.
Oh,
Sunshine.
oh my goodness. And for those that don't know, tell us a little bit about what you do, sweetheart.
All right. My team and I are residential real estate agents, and we serve Charleston and all the surrounding suburbs. Our office is located in historic Somerville, but we go out to the islands, as far inland as the lakes, and anywhere you want to be.
Beautiful. And you've been in real estate for how long?
Over 30 years. I'm an old dog.
Amazing. You are not. You would never know. But someone like you has the expertise, the know-how. Whether you're looking to, work, move for relocation in the area, first-time buyers. There's active adult communities. We talked about there's golf course communities, military moves. There's also the people that want to live on the waterfront. I mean, you have a lot going on, including new construction. So tell us more about, this beautiful place you live and what it's all about.
All right. Well, I thought today we'd touch on why Charleston. Everyone's always talking about Charleston, South Carolina, but why? What are the benefits? We've been voted the number one city in the U.S. for 12 years running. That's
Wow.
based on sites, landmarks, arts, restaurants, shopping, walkability, people, friendliness, and just overall feel of the community. You feel like you're part of something when you're here. It makes true Southern hospitality shine.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, what is it about Charleston? Fill us in because I know, in the beginning, I got a little overview of all the areas and how it works, but, we have new time listeners and viewers today. So please feel free to start sharing.
Okay. Well, if you're just visiting, then the culinary scene is going to be huge for you. We have three James Beard award-winning chefs in the
Oh,
area. Big, Husk, and Rodney Scott's Barbecue have all been recognized. So those are all worth putting on your list if you're just coming for a short visit. We have suburban and family-friendly communities. If you decide to make this your home, it's a good feel and it's a very low-key lifestyle. Our cost of living is below the national average, and Charleston is higher than most of the state for cost of living, but we're still lower than almost all the big cities in the United States. So that makes it a very livable place to be. If you're just visiting downtown, we have the historic area and quaint streets. Charleston was formed in the 1700s. It was a place for the merchants to move their things up and down the river and out into the Cooper River and out into the ocean. And also it was for travelers coming from overseas to trade. So we still have cobblestone streets. The cobblestones were actually the ballast that was put in the ships that came here empty and that they had to stay upright. So they filled the hull with ballast, and then they would drop them off at the waterfront and pick up our indigo and our corn and our rice and all the things that we grew here, tobacco leaves, and they would leave those cobblestones. So they made streets in Charleston with that, and those are still in place from the 1700s. You want to walk
wow.
around there. We have architecture. There's different architecture here from every area of the world. So architectural students come to Charleston to study. You can walk up and down every street and see things from France and Spain and Portugal and German. It's just a fascinating place to be.
Wait, and I have to ask about the historic district because I always see such colorful, if I don't know if it's businesses or apartments. Is that called Rainbow Row? What is that specifically?
Yes, that's the most famous part of Charleston, Rainbow Row. Those were merchants. That used to be where the shoreline met. Now you've got properties across from them,
Oh.
shoreline, but that was mostly for sailors and commerce in that part. Very, very expensive place to live. Those are all now homes.
Beautiful. And I mean, you still have the port there. Is the port active? Again, I'm naive, I don't know, but tell me what's happening in the port area.
Oh, absolutely. We're the seventh largest port in the nation.
Oh gosh.
So we
Okay.
have a very large port here. We're second on the East Coast in size. So we have a very large port. We also have an FBI division here because we have that large port, and we have
Oh,
the Coast Guard stationed in Charleston as well.
beautiful. And, there's also now, I remember last week we talked a little bit about, not to digress, but there's also different areas around, and there's even like the waterfront. Is it called Foley Beach or something you mentioned?
That's one of our beaches. Folly Beach is my favorite spot, but everybody has a favorite spot. So we have Folly Beach. It used to feel like you were driving back into 1950. We have since people discovered it, we have more new homes, but it used to be all just beach shacks, like they used to talk about down the shore in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Used to be like that, but now it's getting more commercial. Bill Murray, a famous actor that people know, lives over there. He's got a
Oh,
home in Folly Beach. And then we have Isle of Palms. That is really beautiful, and it is off of the Mount Pleasant side of Charleston. It's a more upscale. It'll feel more like you're going to a commercialized beach. And then we have Edisto Beach, was about 45 minutes outside of town. It's very old feeling, still have plenty of parking, and a great place to go seashelling.
amazing. And what else do we need to know about this beautiful place?
Let's see, we've got growing industries. We have Fortune 500 companies here. Amazon, Booz Allen, Hamilton, and Granger are stationed here.
Wow.
We have Joint Base Charleston, which houses the C-17 program. We have Boeing in aerospace. You've got the Boeing plant, and they support a lot of our educational programs at our colleges, which is really important. We have Volvo and Mercedes Sprinter vans. Let me see. Let me look at my notes here real quick.
Sure.
Advanced logistics, we make some of the very heavy machinery for the military. Life
Okay.
sciences, technology, and IT. We're just growing our the last time they did our unemployment rate, it was 2.8%, which is below the national average. We're a right to work state, so businesses want to relocate here. One thing that's I know we're floating back and forth, but for homeowners in Florida, it's very hard right now. They're having a difficult time with insurance. They're struggling. The state has stepped in to try to provide insurance. We don't have those problems here. So you've
Yes.
got waterfront capabilities of living
Um,
here, but you don't have any problems insuring your home. That's a very important factor for people thinking about moving.
Interesting. Now, we went over some specifics about different neighborhoods at one point. You did a little screen show of all the different areas. Is that something else that you wanted to touch upon for today to tell us, what's hot in each little area?
At first, I think I'd like to talk to you about the plantations, if that's okay.
Please, I know nothing about them.
Oh,
Everyone listening, maybe you don't either. Tell me.
all right. Well, when you bring your kids, you got to go see at least one plantation.
Okay.
So we've got Boone Hall Plantation, that's in Mount Pleasant, and people remember that. They filmed the North and the South with Patrick Swayze there.
Oh.
So when you see them going in horse and carriage down the long road with the beautiful trees on both sides, that's Boone Hall
Mm-hmm.
Plantation. That's a wonderful place to visit. They have rice paddies, and they do a great presentation about the enslaved people there. It's historically accurate, and it's very interesting. And then we have Magnolia Plantation. That's off Highway 61 between historic Summerville and downtown Charleston. That's where they filmed some of the scenes from The Bridges of Madison County.
No, that was one of my
Yes,
mom's favorite movies. Are you serious? I had
I'm,
no idea what that was.
oh,
Is
it's
that
amazing.
bridge still exists? I mean, is it like a tourist attraction now or
It is a tourist attraction. You can tour the home, which is an antebellum home, and the family still lives there. And then there's a petting zoo. There's the butterfly lakes that you can visit. There's a
mm-hmm.
walking tour, a cypress swamp. It's amazing. You would love that. And then we have Middleton Plantation. It has a historic inn and a fabulous restaurant that serves wild game, which just makes it very unusual. And then we have Guatemala Tea Plantation. It's the only working tea plantation in the United States, and they serve that tea at the White House. You can tour there as
You're
well. So
kidding.
yeah, oh yeah, step back into history when you come to visit. It's amazing. And those of us who live here can see these places anytime we want to go. It's fabulous. In fact, at Middleton Plantation on the 4th of July, they have a reading of the Declaration of Independence. It's really fascinating. It's an amazing place. You've got to come visit. And then we have Fort Sumter. You have to take a boat to get to that. But that's
Okay.
where they fired the first shot of the Civil War.
Wow.
So history buffs, horticulture buffs, water sports, anything you'd like to do here. Then coming up in a week and a half, we have the Flowertown Festival in Somerville. It's a juried art program with music and food and crafts. Then following that, we will have, I need to look, the Credit One Stadium, the best in women's tennis. We have the top women's tennis players in the world come here for about a week. It's fabulous to go to. And then that'll be followed up by the Spoleto Foundation. That festival originated in Italy. It's a 17-day celebration of the arts in Charleston. So there'll be opera and dance and music and plays, anything and everything you want to do. Following that, there'll be the Jazz Festival,
Mm-hmm.
jazz music downtown. We have over 20 annual events you can enjoy. So whatever you want to do, you're going to find it here. And if you have questions, call us. We'll tell you what months these things are happening.
Is there also like a venue for like concert goers? And I'm sure you probably have. Just
Yes,
curious.
yes, we have many. Keith Urban is coming here shortly.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Love
Luke
him.
Bryant was just here. We have
Ah,
the Broadway show of Beetlejuice is playing right now in the city. So we've got multiple venues for that. The Gilliard Auditorium is spectacular. And then we have the Credit One Stadium for outdoors. We have the Charleston Cultural Arts Center in North Charleston. So there is anywhere you want to go and any interest that you have, you're going to love it here.
oh my
What else can I tell
goodness.
you about? Let's think for a minute. On the first Friday of every month in Charleston, there's an art walk, and the art museums and art galleries will be open, and there'll be finger foods and beverages as you go
Okay.
back. In Somerville, on the third Thursday of every month, we have an outdoor event at Hutchison Square, the center of town, where they'll have concerts on the square and restaurants and special shopping events. That's always very fun. Christmas, since this is probably our last visit with you,
Oh,
Christmas in Somerville is so special. It is like stepping into a Hallmark town. So the last Thursday in November, they have a big celebration called Christmas in Somerville. The mayor comes out on the second floor of the city hall and he talks to everyone and declares Christmas season open. And then the school choirs will sing. They'll have hot chocolate. We have live window displays in every business downtown, and you can vote for your favorite window display. Our office has done Charlie Brown's Christmas. We've done Santa's Workshop,
oh my gosh.
and there'll be people giving out hot chocolate and cookies, and you can't help but be in the Christmas spirit when you come to that in Somerville. And that's the last Thursday of the month in November.
Amazing. And by the way, what is the weather like during Christmas season in Charleston?
Very comfortable. We usually don't have to wear a coat. Very cool nights, warm days. In fact, I looked it up before we started this morning. We average 230 days of sunshine a year in Charleston.
Oh my goodness.
So we have very mild springs, falls, and winters, and then a hot summer. But that's what you want when you're at the beach. You don't
Of
want.
course.
I sound like an advertisement for the Chamber of Commerce.
You do, and they're going to love this show. They're going to say, "Can we just post this on our website too?" But really, clearly, it has so much to offer and so many amazing. And these are the things that people want to hear about because, like I said, I'm not familiar with Charleston at all, but there is so much to do. Also, let me just ask for children, what is like the school systems like down there?
Oh, excellent question. And you can look online to the grades in the schools, the terms. Somerville has the highest. The
Okay.
very well known Dorchester District 2 is highly respected as a good school system. It's interesting, you get some negativity about the school system in South Carolina, but I've moved people here from other states who've called and said their children had to get tutors to get caught up so that they would be at grade level with our schools. So I think that
Wow.
speaks very highly. And then we have three high schools within Somerville. We're very large area, very flat, so we spread out. And the one high school has an agricultural department if people want to follow that path. And those students often go on to Clemson University, which has great ag programs. And then at Fort Dorchester High School, they have the International Baccalaureate program. Two of my son's friends graduated from that. They had to be fluent in a second language,
Mm-hmm.
and that is graded by people in that country. They do a verbal and a written. And when they graduate, they also do enormous amounts of community service as part of that high school diploma. And then they have 2 degrees that are recognized nationally and internationally. And those students get tremendous amounts of scholarship money to move on. One became a nuclear engineer and one became an attorney.
Wow.
So that is really good. Let's think about this weekend coming up. Now, see, we're still in March. You'll have people out on the water enjoying our water sports. We're having friends over for something called a low country boil. We should talk about our food. A low country boil is amazing and so much fun to eat outside. It's all made in one big pot. You boil red potatoes, and when they're just about soft, you add corn on the cob. As that steams, you add smoked sausage, and then you top that with shrimp, live shrimp, wild shrimp, and then I like to add lemons and onions and crab claws, and you pour it all out on a big bin on your table outside, and everybody just picks at it. It's the most fun.
Oh my goodness. Well, and just for those that maybe the first time listening, what drew you to Charleston? How did you end up in Charleston?
Oh, good question. My husband worked for the paper industry, and it was
Mm-hmm.
called Westvaco. They had their plant in Maryland, and that plant closed down. So we moved here for him to work at this plant here. Unfortunately, that plant has been through many changes, and it closed last year. Excuse me, but it's right on the Cooper River. Pardon me. So the port is taking over that portion. But we came here with the paper industry. I landed at the airport with two kids in snowsuits to a sunny day with palm trees blowing, and I looked at my husband and I said, "I'm staying."
Ah, and no turning back today. Absolutely not. Clearly. And you're such an advocate for this, your home, and this is your beautiful area. And you are very well experienced, obviously, in helping every type of person move to this town and get here. And I know, let me just ask you for seniors, we did touch upon, the 55 and older community, right? And the golf course is there.
Yes.
What about the other activities for us older adults?
Older adults, let's see. There's golf, there's swimming,
Mm-hmm.
there's boating, there's fishing, there's attending plays and concerts. I'm learning Mahjong. I'm taking that up. What else, Lisa? Can you think of some things? I mean, there's just anything and everything you want to do is here. You want to learn a craft. You want to take up, um, for older people, if you want to volunteer, there's a
Yeah.
lot of volunteer options here in our area. When I get old and gray and don't work anymore, I want to rock babies in the NICU. That's my goal.
Oh,
I love a baby.
beautiful.
So it'd be
Beautiful.
wonderful. I think we could also touch on if people are thinking about moving here and want to call and talk to us about homes, the type of paperwork you're going to see.
Oh, yeah.
Every state is different. So the first form you'll see is a form that's the disclosure for the state that tells you all the way licensed realtors can work for you, who they work for, how they work, and how you're going to be represented. And then as a buyer, the next form will be your buyer's agreement that'll show that we're going to represent you in your best interest always throughout the transaction. We have to tell you anything and everything we know about the seller and the property in the area and look out for you from start to finish. Then there'll be an offer to purchase, and our contracts are only 8 pages long, which is nice. I've received contracts from other states that are 19 and 20 pages long. So we'll have an 8 page contract to purchase. Then we'll have a separate document that talks about the personal property that will convey with the house, what is expected, and if there's
Mm-hmm.
something the seller is not going to give you. Then we'll have disclosures on you, how your earnest money is going to be used, and wiring processes and how to protect your interest in the wiring process. So you'll have multiple forms, but they're all there for your knowledge and explanation and protection. I think that's important for buyers to understand. It's the safest thing in the world to do, in my opinion, is to buy a home. We have so many checks and balances with appraisals and inspections and termite checks. And you don't ever have to worry about anyone taking advantage of you or you not being given a fair deal. If you've got a good agent and you've got all these protections in place, it's a good time to be a home buyer.
Got it. And obviously, you work with all those transactions and you have the experience to help anyone. And what
Yes.
did you mention about the real estate taxes down there?
Our real estate taxes are very low. I know in New Jersey it's not uncommon to pay 15 or $20,000 a year on a home. You might be able to give me more information on that. Down here, our home's worth about $700,000. Our taxes are $5,900 a year on our home.
Wow.
As long as it's your primary residence. Now, if you come down and buy a second home, you can triple that tax bill. It'd be about 15,000 for a second home.
Oh my goodness. Well,
So let's see, we have people here from all over the world. You don't ever have to feel like you're not going to make a friend or there's not going to be someone here that you have something in common with. I have worked with people from Australia, China, Japan, Russia, um, Puerto Rico, you name it, they're German, you name it, they're living here. So there's going to be something for you. If you like sports, there's a big sports community. If you like international studies, international travel, there's something for that. We have the Charleston International Airport too, so you can get in and out very quickly. It's about 15 minutes from downtown Somerville, 15 minutes or 20 from downtown Charleston, so it's centrally located.
Beautiful. And, it's just, people are, I don't know, you have to move for work a lot. You have to do, I get it, but it's such a scary thing to go somewhere and not know anyone. So I really feel like you are just like a full service. You're not just a realtor in your company. You are so knowledgeable above and beyond. It's not, hey, I'm going to show you this house, show you that house. You offer your clients something very special and different and custom to what they need and want. And these little tidbits about why they should move here and what's best for their situation. It's like you have all this knowledge. Are all realtors this full service where you are?
Well, I don't know. I know my clients come back again and again, so I know we give a good service. And I truly love where I live. I just don't do that for a job. I love where I live and I take it to heart. I want my clients to be happy. I check in with you, we stay in touch. People call me all the time. Just I need an estate attorney. Can you recommend somebody? I'm looking for a piano teacher. Can you help me with that? So Lisa and I try to provide a full service and always be available here for our clients. And we work actually in an office. A lot of realtors work from home. I think that's a disservice. We work in an office. So my clients are downtown and they need something, they pop in and they know one of us will be here to help them always. So I think that's important. And they'll just stop in to show me their new baby or to
Oh,
tell me that they've got a trip planned out of town or to ask me what the value of their neighborhood is because they're thinking maybe about downsizing.
mm-hmm.
We're always here for you. You just know if you're going to move to Charleston, you've got friends here. Lisa and I will be your friend.
Oh, thank you. And we still have, gosh, we have 5 more minutes left. What else about Charleston do you think is important, Jana, to explain to our viewers? And did you say this is our last show?
I think this is our last show per my
Didn't
contract, but
know
maybe we
that.
can talk about that.
All right.
Let's talk about people who have kids going off to college. I've sold a condo downtown to a woman whose son was coming to college, and she wanted him to have a permanent place to stay. So I pulled out some information about our college. We have
Oh,
this,
great.
all right, we have the Citadel Military College, and it was voted the best public university in the South. It has a world-class business program there for those, but they do have to have the military environment. They don't all go into the military from there, but you live in that environment for 4 years. We have the College of Charleston. They have NCAA Division I athletes there. Very well-known programs. A lot of people love to follow the basketball program here. And that school does pre-med, education, and business. And then we have Charleston Southern University. It's a Christian college, and that has over 15 graduate programs, athletic training, biology, nursing is excellent. And then Trident Technical College is a 2-year college, but they have a really high-end aerospace training, visual arts, education of business, information technology, and media programs. So if you want to go into the film industry, Trident is going to be a good spot for you to be. That's something else we can talk about. The film industry is really good here. I'm trying to
Really?
show Divine Redeemers, I think. Very popular. It's filmed here, and a lot of those stars have made their homes here. They love it. So we do 2 or 3 major movies here a year. One of my homes, I had an antebellum mansion listed,
Ah,
and I was called from the film industry. And Jessica Biel was in a TV show on HBO. They filmed in my listing. My sellers loved it. They lived upstairs and they filmed downstairs. They got to meet everybody and just said it was the best experience ever. So film industry is big here, as well as Wilmington, North Carolina,
okay.
get into the film industry.
Wow, I didn't know that. Is there like one thing in particular, like, a lot of things are, I mean, because it's a big a shipping port area, a lot of like what type of, I mean, you mentioned a lot of companies, but is there like, if you live in Charleston, people assume you're working in what business? Is it one of
Oh,
those or no?
thousands,
Oh,
thousands
okay.
because we've got the port and the medical and the technology and the school systems and the import export business. You will have a lot of that going on. Since you have small children, if you come to visit, some things you might want to do
Oh,
is we
good.
have a gorgeous aquarium right on the waterfront, and it walks you through the state. When you start, you're in the upstate, and you work your way all the way down to the sea, so you can see every facet of South Carolina. We have the Children's Museum of South Carolina in downtown Charleston that's very fun. And something that one of our clients is, she's the director of the International African American Museum. We sold the house to her.
Wow.
That is an amazing experience. We went down and spent 3 hours. I'm going to go back. It is really fascinating, and not to talk any politics whatsoever, but Joe Biden decided to spend his last day of his presidency here in Charleston, and he spent it at
Really?
the African American Museum of Art. So that's a fascinating place to walk through. I'd recommend everybody take a look there. Our craft beers are we're just jumping all over the place. A
Okay.
number of breweries here, craft beers. So if you like that, that's a lot of fun. We're about to have the beer festival. There'll be 200 different beers represented there, and a full day of experience with that and them talking about their breweries. So that's a lot of fun. If you come to downtown Charleston, take a carriage ride.
Oh,
Interesting, they have a ping pong ball system. You push a button and a ping pong ball pops up with a route number, and that's the route you take. So you don't ever know which one you're going to get, and they're all so interesting and fun.
beautiful. It sounds like a great place. I just gotta just circle back to the aquarium. Do you have penguins at the aquarium? My son's obsessed with penguins.
We do
Just
have penguins at the aquarium.
perfect. And
And
what is it?
otters a big, everyone loves them because they're so playful.
What is the name of the aquarium, sweetheart?
It's called the South Carolina Aquarium.
Oh, perfect. All right, good. Easy for me to look up later. Thank you.
Yes, and sharks and sea turtles. And they have the sea turtle hospital there that you can tour. So when the sea turtles, like the Ridley turtles, get cold flashed in the winter, they'll beach themselves and they'll pass away if we don't help them right away. So they bring them to the sea turtle hospital,
Wow.
and you can see up close and personal these little turtles. They rehabilitate them and they let them go.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I mean, there clearly is a lot to do in Charleston for everyone, and I really hope people reach out and, want to move because you are the expert. Thank you so much for your time today, Jana.
Thank you, Jill. It's been so nice getting to know you. Thank you so much.
Same here. Now,
Bye-bye.
tell us how we can reach out to you.
Okay. Oh, our number's 843-709-3880, or Jana at janabantzrealestate.com, or Jana Bantz Real Estate online. Thank you
Beautiful.
so much.
Thank you. Have a fantastic day. Send my regards to Lisa as well. And hopefully we will connect again, and we'll say till next time. And thank you for the offer. If I do come down, I will be calling. Thank you.
Happy Thursday.
You too,
Bye.
sweetheart. Bye-bye. Thank you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.